Welcome to the Weather Guru Sunday, June 25th, 2023 tropical update for the Atlantic and Pacific basins. Of course, the story of the day is going to be Tropical Storm Cindy, a couple hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles here, progressing northwestward at this time, and it is weakening. We're currently looking at the infrared satellite picture of it, and you can see deep convection all blown off and sheared off to the east and northeast of the center of circulation of this system. As anticipated, the system was weakening significantly. Right now, the latest data on Cindy is that there's a tropical storm moving northwest at 21 miles an hour, a very fast movement. Max sustained winds have come down to 50 miles an hour. This is the advisory as of 5 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Next advisory is at 8 a.m., of course, and then subsequently on to the other advisories at 11, etc., etc. So the pressure's come up to 1,007 millibars. It's starting to become elongated, the structure of the system, and that means it's weakening. It's interacting with that wind shear. It's interacting with that dry air that we talked about earlier, the dry dust, Saharan dust layer, and also the dry air in general. And that's going to continue to be the case as it pushes northeast of Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands. It will continue to be in that dry sector, and continue weakening is forecast. And this storm may end up being a depression or a disintegrating by the time it gets near Bermuda later on in the forecast period by Thursday, by Wednesday or so. Right now, we have the forecast as a tropical storm through Monday, and through Monday, it becomes weakening down to a depression by 2 p.m. Monday. So it's going to be very interacting with that heavy wind shear. It's just going to tear apart the system. And by the way, tropical storm force winds only extend out 60 miles from the center. So it's a very small swath of tropical storm conditions that experiences out there in the open ocean here. That's the great news. Is not going to be any impact to any land areas, and it may not even impact Bermuda as the last stop on the train here before it heads out to sea. And it may not bring any impacts to Bermuda at all, depending on how close it gets. If they even get a rain shower out of this thing, it may disintegrate before reaching Bermuda, as the discussion forecast has it here. For winds around 35 miles an hour, 36 hours from now. So it's possible that it's dissipated in the next 48 hours, so it won't have any impact. And there won't be any chance for it to regenerate, because according to the discussion at National Hurricane Center, it's going to be over cooler sea surface temperatures too. So that was the only thing that it had going for it, as you can see here in the overall scope. And we're going to go ahead to look at this look at the structure here. I want to take you to the water vapor. On the water vapor here, you can see it's actually, I got the wrong one here. 1 second. Actually, on the water vapor here, you can see that it's not really strengthening here at all, and it also has a dry air slot. See, it's entraining dry air right here. This dark colors here, that's dry air. It's entraining heavy wind shear and dry air and cooler sea surface temperatures, meaning that the only thing the system has going for it is its internal structure right now, and that's being eroded on the south and southwest sides. And the quadrants are not equal, they're not balanced on the system. It's not stacked, vertically stacked in the lower and mid and upper layers of the atmosphere. And that's why we're getting this kind of blown off effect. You see the clouds are blowing off to the east, it's sheared off higher in the atmosphere, and also in the mid levels. They're losing the low level circulation, as noted by the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. And you can see the center here is exposed. The center is exposed, is lacking that buzzsaw look that you like to see for an intensifying tropical storm to a hurricane, and we're just not going to have it. And, that's one of the good news. The good news about having these systems that come in June and July is they tend to be offshore. They tend to not make an impact, in certain years, and El Nino years as well. So we have to continue to watch that. Now in the Eastern Pacific, we have that one storm that's disintegrating too. The showers around it is disintegrating. Now it's only given a 20% chance in 48 hours, but an 80% chance in 7 days. So once it gets further away from the coast of Mexico, southwest of Mexico, it will develop, but it'll be moving away from shore, away from the Mexican coastline, as a lot of these storms in Pacific tend to do. Central Pacific looks good. Nothing out there in Hawaii and other areas. Clear skies and no disturbances out there as well. So looking back on the Atlantic, Cindy is the only game in town right now. There is a couple waves that were coming off. It seems like the African coastline, the waves are quieted down for now during the next 4 or 5 days, so that's good news. And in the Gulf and the Caribbean Sea, nothing is going on there. This is the remnants of Brett. Will be impacting looks like be impacting a little bit of Bolivia in Nicaragua and San Salvador, El Salvador, but they'll just get a few showers, nothing really crazy. And the Gulf of Mexico is completely clear, and there's just this trailing front line here, of course, coming through Tampa, Orlando, Daytona Beach, Florida, and on out to sea here. It's bringing some showers offshore, but nothing really substantial there. So we end the month of June here with just the ABC storms. Through the letter of C, and we still have a week to go, but we doesn't anticipate getting a D-name storm. The next D-name storm will be Dawn, but we're not going to get that here, I don't think, before ending the month of June as we look at the next 7 days here as far as the Atlantic Basin. But look at the Pacific Basin to be increasing in the month of July because of the El Nino. The El Nino is supposedly coming back strong, and so we look at that. I'll show you the Atlantic-wide view right now here. This is what we have, and all the view here. So this disturbance that is given a 20% chance in the Eastern Pacific. Look for the Eastern Pacific zone to heat up in the next month in July because El Nino is supposed to be expanding. It was not really, it was shrinking in June, but now it's supposed to be expanding, and so look for that to kick in. And we're already seeing the effects of the wind shear tearing apart some of these storms that were coming off the Cape Verde here. And there's Cindy out there. It's gotten bigger, but it's weaker. It's gotten bigger in size, but weaker now, and it will continue until it basically disintegrates before reaching anywhere near Bermuda. So in the front, and plus there's a frontal boundary coming across here. As you can see, there's a trough in the frontal boundary, so it's going to interact and basically be phased or merged into that frontal boundary, and it's just going to dissipate. So that's what's going to happen, bringing probably beneficial rains to Bermuda as they collect rains through the roof, as most islands do, and helping the water table there as well, hopefully. But elsewhere, the Caribbean looking good. Barbados, Martinique, Dominica, no damage reports, no major damage reports sustained by Brett that moved through earlier this week. A few trees down, stuff like that to be expected, but not many power outages, so that's good for the folks in Barbados, Martinique, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All those areas did pretty well with Brett. Tropical storm, like I said, maximum gusts were around 69 miles an hour. That was reported in Barbados and St. Lucia. But other than that, I mean, hey, it was pretty great, a pretty great storm to have. It wasn't like a Maria, like in Puerto Rico they had any type of hurricane, so they were blessed. We're blessed in that sense. And there's Brett. There's the remnants of Brett right there, which is nothing but a blob of showers. Winds less than 25 miles an hour. So it's like I said, it's going to impact those Central American zones, bringing beneficial rains to Nicaragua, Honduras, and maybe a little bit of El Salvador, San Salvador action going on there. So this has been your current tropical update for June 25th, 2023. Please be sure to subscribe to the Weather Guru for the latest breakdown of the hurricane, the tropical weather, and as well as sometimes we talk about the continental U.S. and what's going on there and things of that nature. Happy summer, and we'll talk to you soon a little bit later on in the day. Thank you.